Hi, welcome to Wood and Stuff Workshop. Before I get doing anything in the workshop, I've got an empty wood store that I've just got to sort out, and then we'll get back in here. So see you in a minute. This is where I burn the ugly wood. At one time I used to make these little treasure chests, and I sold a few at craft fairs and online, but they're just easily and cheaply made. They're just made out of pine, but I thought what I'd do now is try and make a better version of them, because on there, look, you can see they're just a butt joint, so you can see the end grain on there. And what I want to do is try some with a mitre, but in the mitre put a spline or a tongue going across the corner for like slight bit of decoration. So I just thought I'd do a bit of an upgrade and make a better version. So what I've got is this jig that I made. So this has just been kicking around for a year, waiting for me to get round to using it. Now these little treasure chests are made out of 18mm thick timber. But that's because that was always the timber, the offcuts that I'd end up with, out of 18mm. Because originally the ones that I made for a start were bigger than this. They were probably out here. They were probably, what, about 9 inches wide. And probably a bit deeper than that. But I ended up making them this size. This was the ideal size for posting. So what I'm going to do now is we're just going to do some tests to try out this jig. So this stuff's only 11mm thick. If I made a batch of these, I don't want to wait for glue to dry to move on to the next step. So if I mitered these and clamped them all together and left them, you know, obviously I'd have to move on to something else, which I could probably do, but if I can get away without doing that, I will. So I'm going to mitre it and probably shoot in a couple of pins in positions where I won't be taking the saw blade through. For a start, let's get these chopped to length and put some mitres on them. So yeah, while I'm doing this, I'll just put a groove in the bottom so I can put a base in, because then I'll be able to use this, even though it's only a sample piece, to see if I can get my jig working okay. I'll be able to use this then as a box or something or other. Might be able to give it a use. Something you need when you're using this iron held table saw, because it is unbelievably loud. Right, what I'm using is this tongue and groove for the base, so I just need to make these grooves wide enough for this to fit in. So I'm just moving the fence so I can get the width I want on one side to the other, and then just taking the piece out the middle. So we've got some parts cut here now for this practice run. So just need to glue them all together. So just put a tongue and groove base in the bottom there, just so I can use it as a box afterwards. I'm going to have to decide where I'm going to have the splines or the tongs, just so I make sure that when I pin, I don't put the pins in where I'm cutting through on the saw. So let's get that done. I've finally got a use for these. Found these at a car boot sale, and they're mitre clamps for picture framing, if you're doing any picture framing. But I don't do picture framing, but I thought they'd come in useful for something, and they're ideal for holding these mitres together. So they just got these springy gripping parts there like that. That both go out, spring to the sides, and this is a 90-degree angle, and so I can just push the mitre joint into the corners there, and they hold it tightly out, and I can check it. So usually you would have, if you're doing picture framing, you'd have one of these in each corner like that, but because of the width of this, I'm having one on either side like this, one on each end. And then just putting them on like that, and then it means that I can push the mitre tight up in the corner there, and then I can check this angle on there with a square, so I can get in between these bits there to check that this is holding them square, which it is. That's lovely. So yeah, that's handy. Because then, because I can get glue on there, and then I can get a pin gun just to shoot in there and there. Of course, you don't have to use corner clamps like that. I was just trying to make it easy holding them. You could always just do them freehand. Just hold them together, nail them, and put it all together. And as long as you measure corner to corner, and they're both the same, you'll know that it's square then. 290. 290. Lovely. Yeah, that's good. Right, so the plan is, because now this, I don't have to wait for the glue to dry, hopefully this would be okay to put on our jig. I'm going to figure this jig out and sit it on the jig and push it through. That's the plan anyway. So I just put a bit of a handle on this jig, so I've got something to hold on to. So this jig will be running against the fence, and I need to set the depth of the blade so that it just cuts across the corner there, but not right through onto the inside. Because then what I'll be doing is making some hardwood tongs or splines out of some hardwood, so it's just a contrasting colour to go in the corners there. I'll just put that up to the corner there so I can see how far I need to come up with the blade. Right, I've just got to work out the positions where these splines are going to go now. I think I want to do just one cut in the middle of this jig. go, so we've got the cut through there. I'll just put pencil marks on there of where I want to put the box to be able to do them. Put the box to do the cut. Okay, let's see if the box will hold together while we do this operation. There we go. Don't get much better than that. That's just exactly what I wanted. Now we need to make some splines or tongs that'll go across the corners now. So this is all we're doing, making some hardwood splines that will push into here. We're just going to glue them in. They should work a treat. Glue's dry, so I've decided now I'm going to just cut these off on the bandsaw, and then I can sand them up. So that's the effect that I wanted. Nice corners like that. So that makes my boxes a bit better. So that's pine with a mahogany tong or spline in the corners there like that. So with this jig lock, all it is a flat base, and then these are obviously triangles at 45 degrees supporting these flat pieces of plywood, and same on this side, and that's all there is. Make sure this is 90 degrees there, and that's 90 degrees to the side of the base, and then the blade just goes straight through and through the corner like that. So yeah, that works a treat. This was just a quick video to see if my jig would work, but yeah, I'm well impressed with them. Yeah, I'm well happy with how the jig's working. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this quick video. So if you liked it, if you could give us a thumbs up, that'd be great. And if you haven't already subscribed, if you could please consider subscribing, that'd be brilliant. And I'll see you next time. Take care.